This is Henry Frederick of Headline Surfer, headlinesurfer.com and nsbnews.net, and this is the Roundtable. To my right is Dana Doherty Swanson of DeBerry, a state committee woman, Republican Party, who was at the 2012 convention in Tampa. And to my left, though he's not a leftist, is Stan Escudero, Republican Committee, Executive Committee Chair for Volusia County, and he writes the blog called The Guidepost for our website. And he's from Daytona Beach Shores. I think we should take a look at Mr. Obama's speech, his acceptance speech. What do you think, Dana?
Well, like they were saying about, it seemed like an extended State of the Union. I was expecting more oomph from Obama. I mean, he is always a good orator, but I was expecting it to have a little more dazzle, a little more flair, and it just seemed a little stale.
Stan?
Well, I thought it was a hollow statement by a hollow man, but it was completely representative of the convention and the way it was conducted. I mean, the Republican convention, despite the hurricane, was very, very smooth, very even, very well choreographed. It all went off, even cut one day short. It all went off very, very well. The Democratic convention, the lights went out. They don't have any balloons. They couldn't even flying and busing people in, bring in enough people to fill Panther Stadium, so they had to shift them at the last minute indoors, claiming that it might rain. I understand it didn't. You had people like Sandra Fluke. Just the level, the quality of the whole thing. You had two really good presentations there. Michelle Obama, I thought, delivered an excellent presentation,
Yeah, I think she really
which rivaled Ann Romney's presentation at the Republican.
She showed a lot of class.
Yes, and then there was Bill Clinton.
Right.
Bill Clinton is Bill Clinton. He was the most popular president we've had in a number of presidencies. Yes, since Reagan, and it showed both in the reaction of the people and his speech. However, Obama, master rhetorician that he's supposed to be, fell flat on his face. But then his administration, his first term, has fallen flat on his face. So what else could he do?
He said that the Republicans didn't make a case for, or that they said, I remember it was him or Biden said something about, they said everything bad about America, but you're better than that. I don't think that's the message. I think the message was that they need to pick things up. The Republicans, that was their message. With the Democrats, I'm not certain that, I think there was sort of a memory loss of what happened in the previous 3.5 years. And it's kind of like when George Bush, and this is, I know you guys are not going to like this, but my feeling is like when George W. Bush, with 9/11, everybody said, well, that was Clinton's fault. No, it was on your watch. It's your responsibility. Same thing with Obama. Yes, when he became president, we were clearly heading into a recession or already there. But he had the support of Congress, at least the first couple of years, to get things done. And it was amazing, all the UAW signs in the building, these cars are like selling like hotcakes. And I don't think that's the case. I think the economy's very stagnant. Jobs are really still...
Did you see the jobs report today?
It was horrible.
96,000.
Yeah, it went from 8.3% down to 8.1. Obama is saying, oh, well, we got to continue our work. We have to continue. We're not there yet. Well, how much longer of not there yet can we take?
And what was his signs, fired up? When you have to put the words out there, doesn't that defeat the purpose of it?
Can we use the term, you're fired?
Yeah, I think that would work much better.
Yeah.
But, they make claims, for example, they say, well, we have created 4.5 million jobs. Well, perhaps they have. But they've lost jobs faster than they have created them. There are 300,000 more people out of work now than there were when Obama came to office.
And how many of those are government jobs that they created that we're now paying for through our
quite a number.
Quite a number. Let me ask you this, you said you thought Michelle Obama did quite well, you, obviously Bill Clinton. Then there was Biden and Obama, and
Yes.
ranking them as the best or worst, out of those four, who was the best? Clinton? And then who, Michelle
And then
Obama?
Michelle Obama.
And then
And then
Biden?
Biden, and then Obama.
How about you?
Yes.
I agree with that because I was pleasantly surprised by Biden because I was expecting, I guess, a little more traditional Biden. But I really thought Michelle Obama, you listen to the words, the speech wasn't that great, but her energy, her enthusiasm, her presentation, that's what makes it. She was what I thought her husband should have been.
Yes.
I was just gonna say that.
Charismatic, exactly.
I actually would give the edge to her, because Clinton is speaking off of a formula where he's got the gift of gab and he can energize the crowd, and it's easy for him to make judgments or pronouncements. He's already been a two-term president. Whereas Michelle Obama, she's in the role of first lady. She's not as politically active as, say, Hillary Clinton was when she was first lady. But it was almost like, maybe she should be running for president. Did you get that sense?
It's like they switched roles, and she was everything that her husband was not. What we normally expect of Obama was not there. It was in her, which kind of is like anticlimactic because she was on the first night, and then Obama, we're thinking, okay, how is he gonna come off? And it was very anticlimactic regarding him because she was the first night and she really did great.
Well, I don't think that people vote for president because they like the president's wife.
Well, no, but I'm just saying.
No, wait, she did a splendid job.
Right.
Did a splendid job. But I don't think that, as opposed to Clinton's statements, are likely to earn Obama that many votes. I think the telling thing about the speeches was that Obama seemed in his speech to have lost interest. The fire in the belly wasn't there. It was the sort of speech that could have been given by a third-level staffer in the White House.
Well, let me ask you this, it makes you
It wasn't
wonder,
good.
even the introductory video after Biden coming into Obama, the two key people in that video were Biden and Clinton. It was Bill Clinton 24/7. If you take Bill Clinton out of the convention, George Bush wasn't at the Republican convention, neither Bush was.
Some of us are wondering, was Bill Clinton running for a third term?
Right, that's my point, I mean,
He would if he could, I
if
agree.
you take him out of, he was making the case, he made a better case than Obama made.
Well, that's the point,
And
yeah.
Obama went back and talked about Clinton's arithmetic. He made a point of making that, making that point.
But I think that Dan has a good point. I mean, basically, Obama is running now for a second term, saying that he needs a second term to clean up the mess he's made in the first term. By the end of his second term, he's going to say he needs a third term to clean up the mess he made in the second term. And by that logic, he can continue on to be president for life.
I look at it this way. Obama is the defendant, and Bill Clinton is his trial lawyer, and he's doing the case.
Well, it's funny you say that because when my wife and I were flipping through the cable stations, we don't even bother with the networks anymore, they're irrelevant. It was Fox, CNN, and MSNBC.
Sure.
And of course, Al Sharpton said he won the presidency tonight. I just found that rather humorous.
Well, that's,
But consider the source.
Sharpton was a whore, what can I say?
Right. When it came to CNN, it was kind of like, there was they gave him a little bit of a boost, but they didn't seem to be that convinced that, hey, he hit a home run. But on Fox, Greta Van Susteren was interviewing Dick Morris, ironically a former Clinton advisor and turncoat on Clinton, and I love what he said, and he's a blowhard, but I love what he said. He said, Bill Clinton was like an A-quality lawyer representing a guilty party in court. What do you think about that comment?
Well,
That kind of summarizes the whole
I
convention.
think it's very true, because really, when you think about it, Obama has not presented, he's basically kind of on trial with the American people. It's like, elect him or not, and we're casting the votes, we're the jury, and Bill Clinton is basically his defense attorney saying, you need to plead him not guilty.
Well,
And set him free to be back president of America again.
well, the sad thing about the speech
Yeah.
really was, it was dull. It was non-specific. I mean, there was a great deal of criticism
Well,
of Romney for not being specific. And this was less specific than Romney's.
the thing about
And
the take two aspirins in the morning,
Yeah,
tell us
well,
about that.
that's just silly. That was just silly. But the truth is that convention speeches are not really meant to lay out the great detail of a program of any kind anyway. So I don't really fault Obama for not being specific, but I do fault him for being dull. This is a man who we know to be capable of soaring rhetoric.
Well, I
And
disagree.
it just wasn't there. I don't know why.
I disagree. I mean, I think in Romney's case, you're running for your first term. You're a newbie. You have to present yourself, like you said in your blog. And by the way, Dana has a new blog with us as well, called Dana's Docket. And Dana, you laid it out great where you talked about how Romney was presented as this evil businessman by the Democratic machine. And he was humanized through his wife, through the other speakers, and eventually through his own acceptance speech. If Obama is running for a second term, and remember the statement he made, "I'm not candidate Obama. I'm the President of the United States." But is he? Is he acting like the President of the United States?
Well,
Did you get that sense of, I mean, shouldn't he been laying out
look,
more of
Henry,
what he was going to do?
He has never acted like the President of the United States. Obama is not a leader. Obama is a man who outsourced the first and most important decision of his presidency, how to spend this $800 billion that everybody wanted to give him in order to set the economy running. Roads and bridges I'm going to build, highways, and almost none were built. Instead, he gave the decision-making over to Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid, and they decided to fund all the public sector unions with the money over a period of 3 years. Here's a man who couldn't make a decision on what to support internally that was good in terms of alternative energy. And so he decided to go with cronies, with Solyndra, and wasted $500 billion. He did the same thing with other cronies, with the Finnish electric car called the Fisker,
Right.
which didn't even have any jobs in the United States. He not only outsourced, he outsourced with taxpayers' money. This man is no leader, and so you can't expect him to act like a leader. Nevertheless, he is the President of the United States, more's the pity. But he is also, at the same time, a candidate because he wants to foist his presidency on the United States one more time, which, please God, won't happen.
The oldest, switching gears here for a second, the oldest former president alive, I believe, is Jimmy Carter. Then it would be George Bush Sr., then George Clinton, and then Obama. Why wasn't Jimmy Carter at this convention?
What I thought was funny when
Is he that much of a push away?
but did you see the video with Jimmy Carter?
No, I missed that
There
part.
was a video with Jimmy Carter, which I thought was kind of humorous because I'm looking at it, it's like, okay, one of the history, at least in my lifetime, worst presidents, and he's doing a video for the convention regarding Obama. I'm thinking, that's probably not a good idea. Because here is another person we think of as one of the worst presidents. I would completely shelve Jimmy Carter and not have a
Second worst president.
Well, he
The
is
first in
the
my
wor-
book would be Gerald Ford, but
No, I would say that he's the worst president of the second half of Carter, the second half of the 20th century. I would say that Barack Obama is the worst president in the history of the United States.
well, history hasn't made that determination yet, and we still have to wait to happen in November. So we'll be back with our final segment on Hollywood.